everybody. So my name is Daniela Itzhak, and I chose to do my research on how effective ABA therapy is in children with autism. So I want to first start out by giving a background about what ABA actually is. So ABA stands for Applied Behavioral Analysis, and it is a specific form of intervention based on the science of learning and behavior. So it's conducted typically by an intervention specialist who's trained in the principles of behaviorism, and they go on to train parents, family members, and other caregivers so that everyone can give a well-rounded, family-centered approach to ABA services for the child. So I got all of my information on this slide and the following slide on this website at autismspeaks.org if you're interested in learning more about ABA therapy. So ABA utilizes many different techniques for understanding and altering behavior. It can be adapted to the needs of each person, it can be provided in a multitude of settings, and it teaches skills that are useful for everyday life. So that's just a really brief overview of what ABA actually is. So why does this matter? It sounds like, we found a great therapeutic option for children that have behavioral issues, but unfortunately ABA has been widely controversial since its conception. I personally have witnessed this controversy in various therapeutic settings. Many therapists really love ABA, and then many therapists really disapprove of it. So this made me think, what's going on here? And it matters because we need to ensure that we're providing the most beneficial therapy to children with special needs. So what exactly is the controversy? ABA therapy sounds, again, widely helpful and beneficial, but it's been disputed for a few different reasons. And these are the main three reasons that I found. With the rise of social media, neurodivergent people are being provided more of a space to share their personal experiences. So many older people who have underwent ABA therapy as children, they feel it has been detrimental to their development as children. So it's important that we listen to people's personal experiences because they are the people who are undergoing services. So a good resource to look into this, if anybody's interested, is there's an Instagram account at the Autisticats, and there's also an Instagram account at the Autistic Life if anyone is interested in reading some of these personal experiences. So secondly, ABA's roots in behaviorism are often accused of being abusive and cruel because it's impossible to make people with autism quote-unquote normal. So third, advocates often say that ABA programs are too intensive for children who are prescribed typically 40 hours of intervention per week. So in my research, I wanted to determine, I wanted to evaluate what is the research saying. So because people are saying negative things, people are saying positive things, so what does the research say? So this is just an overview of the 5 articles that I reviewed, and they just give a really short synopsis. I'm not going to go into this right now because I'm going to give more of the synthesized, version of what I found. So the common themes or the parameters of my research were that I focused specifically on early intervention, so birth to 5. There was one article that utilized 2 8-year-olds in their study, but the majority of them were birth to 5. And then secondly, all of the research that I evaluated used a family-centered approach to intervention in their experimentation. So what does the research say? Each study concluded that the goals they set were met. So this means that in each child and in each study, the ABA goals that they set for the study were exceeded. And the studies implicated that the family-centered approach was very beneficial for helping children make gains. This turned out to be very important as we go on. Each study, of course, also highlighted the importance of doing more research in the field to ensure that the results they found were applicable across the board. It is important to note, this is a little bit of my interjection here, all interventions are provided in the context of the provider. So everyone has different ways of implementing intervention and different ways of interacting with children. So this could highly affect the child's therapeutic outcomes, and we can't account for this in evaluating studies that I saw. And secondly, ABA is only one type of intervention for behavior modification. There are more. It is the most widely known and the most widely accepted, but there are more, and there are many that are emerging as new science now. So I think that it would be beneficial to have research studies in the future that compare the effects of ABA in comparison to, say, behavioral health counseling. Overall, the overall takeaways that I found from my research were that each study found that using an ABA intervention program did result in the children making social and emotional gains and meeting the goals of the program designed for them. So therefore, they could be considered successful. I think that because of this, it can be concluded that the specific ABA programs I viewed were effective forms of intervention for children with autism. However, individual programs need to be evaluated in future research because there's just infinite amounts of different programs in different countries and different states, different parts of the world. So we can't just give a blanket term and say that because of these 5 studies that I evaluated, that all ABA services are beneficial. So this is my research and my references if anybody's interested in reading them. And thank you for listening.